Okay. Good evening, ladies. Congratulations. We did it. Tonight we are making not 2, but 3 grants of $100,000. And our own community is all because of you. Thank you so much. I'm Tandy Robinson, and I, along with Cindy Krebsbach and Lisa Mahal, co-founded Impact 100 3 years ago. And today, Sue Diener and I are co-presidents, and we'll share the stage tonight. And we want to thank you for being members and being here tonight. And wow, what an accomplishment. Welcome to our 3rd annual Grand Awards celebration. We have lots to celebrate tonight. But before we talk about our grants process and hear from our finalists, let's celebrate the power of women coming together with our financial and philanthropic power to accelerate change in our own community. Statistics show that by 2030, 15 years from now, women will control 2/3 of the wealth. Society teaches us, don't talk about money. But the reality is, we can accelerate change with this money, and we should talk about it. So we all have specific causes that are near and dear to us, and we have limited time and resources. And what we have learned through Impact 100 is that beyond our personal awareness, there are so many needs in our local community. Our local nonprofits are out there every day dealing with the issues and dealing with the needs, and sometimes it's just a matter of money to create a solution. So women through Impact 100 collectively use our financial power and resources with great intentionality to help make the world a better place for everyone. Each of you know how important the nonprofits are to the growth and well-being of our community. There are 4,000 nonprofits in Palm Beach County. So tonight, we are able to bring much-needed support through as a funding source to these groups and accelerate change in our community. And we could not do it without you. So now, let's get down to the business of this evening. There's 2 sides to this Impact 100, membership and grants. On the membership side, we all give $1,050, and together we pool our funds to give at least 1 grant of $100,000. Tonight, we have 320 members. So tonight, we will give 3 grants of $100,000, and the balance of $20,000 will be split between our other 2 finalists. Side, we had 61 nonprofits apply for our grants tonight. And they did this through the Community Foundation's website. And they first completed a more simple version we called our letter of inquiry. We refer to it as the LOI. So the nonprofits completed our LOI, and our members, who were grant reviewers, they then read, rated, and discussed all of those LOIs in their focus area team. And from there, they asked back 25 of the LOI nonprofits to create a full, more detailed grant application. Once that nonprofit completed that full grant application, the grant reviewers then again read, rated, and discussed those applications. And in addition, they did an on-site visit to each of those applicants that did a full grant application. And then again, they got those down to the 5 finalists that we will hear from tonight. 1 finalist from each of our 5 focus areas. So as a reminder, the 5 focus areas are arts and culture, environment, education, health and wellness, and family. I got that so many times, thank you. So we so appreciate all the work that the grant reviewers have done, their incredible time and effort and the commitment to the due diligence process. Would all the grant reviewers please stand up, and we'd like to give you a big thank you. So that's the process leading up to this meeting. Now we are here to hear from our 5 finalists and vote for the recipients of our $100,000 grants. Notice how I say grants. The rules for this evening. Each of our finalists will have 7 minutes to present. There is no use of PowerPoints or overheads. It's just the presenter telling the story. And the reason for this is that we do not want you to be distracted by the fanciest presentation. We really just want you to hear the information that the presenter is sharing with us. The following 3 points must be included in each of the presenters' presentation. The impact of the project. Explain to us what the outcomes we can expect. The sustainability of the project. They will explain to us how the project can be continued after our Impact 100 Palm Beach County grant funds have been exhausted. And the service area of the project. They can explain to us how the funds will be used exclusively within the Impact 100 service area. Now our service area, I'm just gonna go back here. The reason our service area is Southern Palm Beach County, and we define that as Lake Worth Road to the north and the Palm Beach-Broward County line to the south. And the reason for that is that's where our members live. And so we want our funds to go directly to where our members live. So with no further ado, let's begin to hear from our finalists. As you can see in the program, each of the finalists are listed in order based on the alphabetical order of the name of their organization. So, our first presenter tonight, the Education Focus Area presents the Achievement Center for Children and Families, Pine Grove After School and Summer Program. The presenter is Rose Blackett.
Good evening. The Achievement Center knows all too well that poverty is society's great divider. It is the difference between adequate housing, food on the table, safety and access to opportunities. Poverty can be the difference between happiness and hopelessness, and we know that children bear the burden of this divide. The Achievement Center's proposal to the Impact 100 membership would bring needed after-school and summer programs to 250 students attending Pine Grove, where currently there are no services. Pine Grove is located in one of the 10 most blighted zip codes in our county, with high crime rates and low income levels. In the fall, when new principal Joe Picia took over, it was at the bottom of the list of elementary schools in Palm Beach County. It was on the state's list of 100 worst performing schools for 2013 and has been a D school for the last 2 years. These children are at the highest risk of falling behind before the race has even started. The student body is 97% minority, 42% have limited English proficiency, 4 times the county's average. An astounding 99% of students qualify for free and reduced lunch, and academically, more than half do not meet math standards, and 65% do not meet reading standards. These children are facing extraordinary difficulties with the odds stacked against them. All of the indicators of academic failure are here: low school readiness, food insecurity, low parent involvement, and a lack of extracurricular and academic opportunities. It's not that they lack dreams nor goals to be better, or that their parents do not want more for them. They have weak support systems and may lack strong role models to lead the way. I stand here today as a product of Palm Beach County school system and former student of Pine Grove Elementary. I am this community. I vividly remember a turning point in my life when a teacher told me that I would never amount to anything. It was unknown to her that I was being bullied and never felt as if I fit in. Instead of telling me that I would never amount to anything, she should have sat me down and asked me, what was the problem? Why does it seem as if you do not care about your future? At that moment, I received into me the spirit of failure. I thank my family for their persistence in continuing my education, and now I can give back to my community. It is an honor to be the first director of after-school and summer programs for my former elementary. Many children at Pine Grove do not have the support system that I had and suffer the consequences. So I'm asking you today, what can we do about it? How could after-school and summer programs change anything? The truth is, there is a lot that can be done. Principal Picia is taking these issues head on, but he needs our help. The school system and the city of Delray Beach are looking to the achievement centers to help solve these problems. We have the expertise, but we need your investment. Principal Picia stated, the longer my students are under my roof, the less likely they are to get into trouble, suffer from ill treatment, or go hungry. Instead of returning to a parentless home, they have a safe haven. They're enrolled in reading programs with certified teachers. They participate in character building programs, and the parents become active participants in making positive change for their children, families, and their community. With Impact 100 funds, we could launch after-school and summer programs in their entirety rather than rolling them out gradually. By June, we could be fully staffed, serving 250 students 10 hours a day in the summer and after school from 2 to 7. The program has an academic curriculum with cultural enrichment, recreational activities, and leadership programs, and we could be fully resourced in terms of materials, supplies, and equipment. The children would benefit from our outreach partners such as the Florida Fishing Academy, YMCA, and the Science Museum. And we would be able to provide funds to Pine Grove to prepare the space for thousands of extra hours of use throughout the year. The sustainability factors are there. Diverse funding, a strong board, community investment, and committed leadership. We will engage the stakeholders, including parents, graduates, and students, to offer the most tailored services to fit their needs. The research is there. These types of programs have been extremely positive for children of low-income families. Our outcomes will show that students will perform academically, improve their conduct and work habits, create better peer relations, and improve their emotional state. So I ask you today to make this investment. Launch us. We have a proven track record, the best indicator for sustainability. For 45 years, the Achievement Centers has provided thousands of low-income families the opportunity to be successful. We currently serve 700 children from Boca to Lake Worth. We are truly a grassroots effort embedded in this community. I know these children. I was one of them. I know hundreds of children will benefit from this program year after year for decades to come. And we can then take pride in saying, we played a part in making that change. Thank you for considering us among these other great organizations.
Thank you, Rose. Wow, what an incredible night this is. This is our third year, and we are just as excited this year as we have been our past 2 years. Our Grand Awards night is kind of like the Oscars for our nonprofits. Only you are the ones on the red carpet. You are the stars because you have made this happen and have ensured that all our finalists will go home with a special award. In year one, our grants totaled $148,000. Last year, our grants totaled $220,000. A cumulative total of $368,000 we've already put into the community. And our first year, we awarded Parent-Child Center, the second, Woman of Tomorrow, and third, Equine Assisted Therapies, with the balance being split between the remaining finalists to carry on their missions. Before we bring up the next finalist, I'd like to share with you some of the remarkable things that are happening with our past high-impact finalists. Our first grant, as I mentioned, went to Parent-Child Center to provide an advocate for children that are removed from the home due to neglect and abuse. Our $100,000 grant was used to implement a trauma team model in South Palm Beach County. The success created by this model has allowed the Parent-Child Center to receive an additional grant of $600,000, which brings their total to $700,000 that Parent-Child Center is now able to replicate their model to the entire state of Florida. Now that's what I call impact. In our second year, we gave a grant to Woman of Tomorrow, which is a mentoring and scholarship program which provides preventative programming for at-risk teenage girls. Woman of Tomorrow has increased their presence in Palm Beach County by establishing a local office and hiring a director for South Palm Beach County. And I'm so thrilled to report that Women of Tomorrow has expanded into all 10 public high schools in Palm Beach County, which increases the number of at-risk teenage girls reached in the South County area to nearly 200. That's doubling that of last year. They've also increased their mentors by over 50%. Many of these at-risk teen girls normally would have dropped out of high school. But with the program from Women of Tomorrow, they have a 93% high school graduation rate. And of those, 90% go on to higher education with scholarships. That's truly amazing. Talk about making a difference in the lives of these girls. Our third grant, $100,000 grant, went to Equine Assisted Therapies. Equally noteworthy is our third recipient, formerly known as Horses in the Handicap. With the assistance of our grant, they were able to acquire a new horse, Goose. I think you can see him there, and you can see why he's become a treasure and a wonderful addition to their pack. But he's also enabled them to serve many more clients. They have surpassed their goals, too, in expanding their program into Palm Beach County, with an emphasis on single parents with special needs, children. Nearly 60% of the students now come from Palm Beach County, of which 30 of those students come from single-parent environments. Parents and families of those students passionately express how equine-assisted therapies have changed their lives and the lives of their children. In addition, as part of their objectives, they have initiated programs that provide equine-assisted psychotherapy to women in rehabilitation, and recently piloted a program to work with wounded warriors in our area. Now, these are all truly achievements really worth an Oscar. As members, you all should be so proud and so gratified knowing that the kind of impact we are making in the community and changing some of these people's lives forever. Now, let's hear from our second presenter, Environmental Presents, Coastal Conservation Association, Lake Worth Lagoon Water Quality Project, presented by J.D. Dickinson.
Good evening and thank you. My name is John David Dickinson. I work in a voluntary capacity as State Vice President of the Coastal Conservation Association of Florida, or CCA. I'm also the founder and the past president of our local South Palm Beach chapter. CCA is a statewide, nonprofit marine conservation organization working in a grassroots capacity to protect Florida's marine resources. I want to thank Impact 100 for including an environmental category in its mission and for the opportunity to present here tonight. As some of you may recall, CCA was the Impact 100 environmental finalist last year, and although we were not awarded a $100,000 grant, our artificial reef project continues to move forward, and we are pursuing that project through other funding avenues, many of which were opened up by our participation in this process, so thank you. Tonight, I am here to present a different project, a cutting-edge, living shorelines habitat project in the Lake Worth Lagoon that will increase nursery habitat for marine species, improve water quality in the lagoon, as well as provide improved shoreline stabilization and aesthetic. So what are we trying to build? We're trying to build a 200-foot mangrove and spartina grass planter that has a very unique and aesthetic and artistic design, as you'll find out. The location is within the Impact 100 service area. It's off Bryant Park in the city of Lake Worth, just south of the Lake Worth Bridge. But first, let's just back up a little bit. What is the lagoon? What are we talking about? The lagoon is our Palm Beach County inshore natural resource. And I need to tell you tonight why mangroves, seagrasses, and oyster reefs matter. Why do they matter? Why do we care? Why am I here presenting about these things? The lagoon is part of the Intercoastal Waterway. You can think of it as the wide portions of the Intercoastal Waterway. Over 250 different fish species have been documented in the lagoon. Hundreds of different species of birds call it home year-round. Manatees and sea turtles are present all year. Mangroves, seagrasses, and oyster reefs are cornerstone indicators of the health of an inshore marine habitat. In the last 50 years, as a community here in Palm Beach County, we've spent a lot of time removing natural shorelines from our inshore habitat. Today, man-made seawalls make up 80% of the shoreline of the lagoon. Historically, there were more than 4,000 acres of seagrass in the lagoon. Today, we have 1,700 acres left. That is a 60% decline. This is why seagrasses, oysters, and mangroves are important, because those organisms are natural filtration systems that create clearer water. Seagrasses need sunlight to grow. Dirty water prevents sunlight from getting to the bottom, and thus preventing the growth of seagrasses and compounding the problem. Another cause of dirty water is excessive wave energy. Anyone who's been on or near the Intercoastal, especially during high boat traffic times, has seen how vertical seawalls operate as almost like an echo chamber for waves, with waves going back and forth. That is a major cause of turbidity, which is the dirty water that we're talking about. This dirty water and the excessive wave energy are enemies of life within the lagoon. This project, this Living Shorelines project, is designed specifically to counteract those enemies of life, to encourage seagrass, oyster, and mangrove growth. This is a cutting-edge conservation project. CCA and our Palm Beach County partners who permit these types of projects are unaware of any kind of project like this anywhere else. It is a mangrove and spartina grass planter that's going to be designed in an ecologically inventive manner. If you can imagine a triangle or a semicircle shaped concrete structure coming out from the vertical seawall, expanding out into the water, the structure will be above the water line. It will have sloped sides for the purposes of wave dissipation, and underwater, it will have strategically placed ridges and undercuts to promote oyster growth and to act as sort of an inshore artificial reef. Inside the planter will be a sand flat on which volunteers will plant mangrove and spartina grass seedlings. The planter will have holes for water to flow in and out of so sea creatures can use the new habitat that we've created. This project also, very importantly, leverages an already awarded $40,000 grant from the National Endowment for the Arts. This $40,000 piece will be used to pay for the creation of a mold, which will be used to cast the concrete planter structure. The planter is going to be designed by a renowned sculptor by the name of Michael Singer. Impact 100 funds will be used to pay the contractor to cast and install the planter structure, to obtain materials for the planting itself. The planting is a youth and volunteer-friendly activity, and our local CCA chapter will recruit local children and volunteers to plant mangroves and spartina grass. Importantly, this project has been designed to act as a model for other municipalities up and down our coast. The actual planter mold will be available for others to use in the future, encouraging the creation of additional living shorelines along the lagoon. The project is fully permitted and approved. We already have a marine contractor lined up. Work would begin immediately upon funding. When we think about the interests of future generations and the natural resources that we've been blessed with, we need to think about how we create a world where the environment does not need to be protected. We need to seek a way of life where the manner in which we interact with our marine resources is productive rather than destructive. We need to develop our communities in ways that encourage marine life rather than discourage it. The only way that this can be realized is if we, as a community, take actions that demonstrate to each other and to our children that these issues matter. This project sends that message and is designed to plant a seed within our communities that we hope will germinate into future habitat and water quality projects. At the same time, the project will create a permanent environmental monument to Impact 100. Furthermore, the project directly engages children, which in turn gives them a stake in what we've created, giving them something tangible to point to and say, I helped create that, and thus planting the seed of conservation in the minds of the next generation. Thanks to the generosity of the women in this room, we have a chance to take a step tonight and send a message to the next generation that we care about what they are going to inherit. I ask the women in this room to help CCA Florida do just that by awarding a $100,000 grant for our proposed Living Shorelines initiative. Thank you for your time and for your generosity.
Alongside the support of you, our members, our success would not be possible without the dedicated and talented staff of the Community Foundation. Where are you? Would you please stand up? We want to thank you and recognize you. Thank you so much. As a reminder, we are a fund of the Community Foundation. And so here tonight to speak with us briefly is Brad Hurlberg, the President and CEO for the Community Foundation for Palm Beach and Martin counties. Welcome, Brad.
We're all here tonight for the same reason. We want to make a difference in our community. When Tandy and friends came to the Community Foundation and said, we have this idea, we want to make, we want to have a big impact. We were excited about the possibility. That vision, though, has grown way beyond our greatest expectation. What an impact you all have made. One thing I want to just mention is, tonight we're about impact in the community, and the Community Foundation and United Way is sponsoring a little project on May 6th, actually a pretty big project, and it's going to support the entire not-for-profit community in our county. And I'm just going to give you a couple of details about it. One is, we're going to raise as much money as possible to support every not-for-profit in the community. It's all unrestricted dollars. It's a 24-hour giving program. Go on our website. You can make a contribution to any individual charity that's registered with us in the community. We have a bonus pool of $450,000 that we will spread among all not-for-profits in the community based on their total contributions that they receive to the total. And it's going to be fun too. Online, you can follow the details for that 24-hour period. Go to our website, and in real time, you'll see how each charity is doing and also how the total is doing. So that's something to think about. Great give PBC, and also just thank you so much to the Impact 100 for the great work you do, and we're just really pleased to be a partner. Thank you.
Without them. They have been amazing partners, friends, mentors. We thank you. Now for our third presenter, the Arts and Culture Focus Area presents Creative City Collaborative, doing business as the Arts Garage, the Arts Garage Music and Theater Education Project. Presenter tonight is Drew Tucker.
My father raised on the beaches of Jamaica, somewhere between Montego Bay and Ocho Rios. Some aunts, if you call them that, will tell me that he was Syrian. Others, I've heard he was African. And still, a different aunt told me that he was part Asian. My mother, well, she's mixed too. She was part black and part German, Irish, Jew. So, what does that make me? Well, if you know, yeah, please feel free to let me know afterward. You know, when I was a student at Olympic Heights High School right up the street, they were busing kids in from Delray. Most of these students were students of African American descent or Haitian descent. And be it from them or from the kids who were my neighbors within Mission Bay and Loggers Run, I was almost assured, at least weekly, at worst daily, to get the question, what are you? What am I? You know, I knew what they meant. They were asking me, well, what ethnicity are you? What's your background? Are you black? Are you white? Are you Spanish? Well, you know, I didn't know. And honestly, I did not fit in. But what I do know, what I did know then, and what I learned during that experience is that the only place that that question was never asked was within the arts building. I learned that arts connect people and it binds people no matter the culture. And when I was standing on the marching field next to my fellow drummers, or whether I was on stage before the curtain went up, I never had to worry about people being concerned with the color of my skin. I didn't have to be, they weren't concerned with where I was from or my background. I was a drummer. We were drummers. We were actors. It didn't matter. And no one asked the question, what are you? The only thing they were concerned about is, what are you made of? Before You for Consideration is a two-tiered project to drastically enhance the hearts and minds of the young people in the demographically and economically diverse area in which we live. The Stage It program will bring professional caliber, relevant theater works dealing with diversity, economics, and social issues in an age-specific manner to the students of the schools and education programs in the areas that we serve. This production will act as a catalyst for the real meat of this program. Over an 8-week period, students will be coached through the process of exploring their thoughts and emotions while learning about the creative process of writing their own monologues. Monologues that will help them to express themselves and to gain a freedom that most of these students have never had. And they will discover a power with them on stage that most have never experienced. In small ways, we've been able to see how powerful this program is already. We invited students from Plumosa Elementary School of the Arts in Delray Beach, Boynton Beach High School, and Congress Middle School to see our inaugural play about Woody Guthrie and the Great Depression. Students were then coached to write monologues about the economic downturn that their own personal families experienced and what it meant for them. And then they were able to express themselves on stage. And you would have been pleasantly delighted, sometimes a little shocked to hear how kids as young as 7, how this economic downturn that we've all experienced in little ways affected them. And why a drumline? Why a drumline is a mode for leadership and a mode for education? Well, it doesn't have the same learning curve as other instruments. If you take a stick and you put it in your hand and you hit something, well, even if you're holding the stick in incorrect fashion, you will still get some sort of satisfying feedback. As a matter of fact, most of you maybe know if you put a pair of drumsticks in your kids' hands or in your grandkids' hands and point them in the direction of a drum set, well, they're going to know exactly what to do. And when you learn to play the right way through practice, and you strike 40 drums in unison with military discipline, well, that feeling goes from just satisfying to downright magical. But that takes discipline. So, using trained instructors focused on mentoring and leadership, then we can create the drums as a tool to give young people from all ethnic backgrounds a sense of pride in themselves, a sense of family that sometimes they might go and search for with gangs or other negative sources. The appreciation for the process of mastery and the reward for doing something that they never thought possible and standing tall and performing in front of hundreds of people. And the other reason why is because everybody has rhythm. And I know I see some of you guys shaking your heads, saying, no, not me, I don't dance, I don't do that stuff with the rhythm, I can't hold a beat. Well, I'm here to tell you that everybody has rhythm. If you didn't have rhythm, well, you couldn't jog in the morning. If you didn't have rhythm, people would look at you funny when you walked here because you would have a weird cadence to the way that you walked. If you didn't have rhythm, you couldn't take your right hand, put it over your chest, and know if there was anything right or wrong with your own heartbeat. Now, over the past 3 years, our theater outreach and music education and mentoring programs have been laying the groundwork for this opportunity. Kids have found their place within the walls of Arts Garage and have gained access to opportunities that they never thought possible. We have the support already of our partners located specifically within the borders of South Palm Beach County. For example, Lake Worth Middle School Band Program has committed to not only identifying the appropriate students for this program, but also in working with Lake Worth High School and John A. Leonard and Boynton Beach High School to arrange carpool system to get them to rehearsals when those rehearsals are not held at their school. The Wayne Barton Learning Center in Boca Raton has opened up their gym for rehearsals and their fleet of buses for transportation. Milagro Center in Delray Beach is helping us to identify students, and we're planning a joint fundraising concerts with Dimensional Harmony, the award-winning choir out of Boynton Beach. The Yamaha Corporation has already pledged their support in helping to provide us with drums at a reasonable cost because they believe in what we're trying to do. And in addition, local churches throughout the target area have agreed to identify students and transport them wherever they need be. And we will begin this program this summer in conjunction with our summer program, and we will begin the programs at partner schools and organizations in the South Palm Beach County area at the beginning of the school year. Our plays are already picked out for next season, and our drums are already in stock and ready to order. The dream just needs funding. When we began 3 years ago, we did so with a modest amount of funds from the CRA, and we were able to leverage the CRA contributions to receive more state and federal funding to grow our programs tenfold and massively increase our budget while still relying on that same modest amount from the CRA. We have been recipients from funding from organizations ranging from the Heckscher Foundation for Children in New York to the Knight Foundation in Miami, where we were able to also leverage those grants to raise matching funds within months. We are sure of the ability of our organizations to sustain and grow this program through the raising of matching funds and in-kind gifts from already committed donors, organizations, and community partners for these Impact 100 seeded programs. This program will change the landscape of our community, and this kind of positive identity expression empowers kids so that they know what they are made of.
Thank you, Drew. During this break, we want to take a few minutes to share with you some of the volunteer opportunities available to our members. There is a form included in your envelope for you to complete and turn in at the end of this presentation. As promised, Impact 100 can be as easy and efficient as one woman, one meeting, one vote, and we are most grateful for that support. However, not required, but there are several volunteer opportunities should you want to get more involved or feel more connected. One, you can be a grant reviewer. As we explained earlier, it is our members that determine the finalists. We offer a 90-minute training, a grant training session that's held normally in October, and the time commitment to review, rate, conduct site visits is usually performed during the months of January and February. I want to offer a big thank you to Mary Lou Sachs and Sherry Sachs, who co-chaired the grants committee this year. Join me in thanking them. You could also sit on a membership committee. The time commitment is primarily September through March. We'd like to also thank Kathy Johnson and Nancy Tomlinson, who co-chaired this committee and kept our members on track and organized all year. Thank you. Also, are you interested in communications? Do you like social media, technology? Well, maybe Communications Committee is for you. We have lots of openings there, and would love to have some of your ideas. So I'd like to also thank Karen Sweetapple for chairing communications and Susan Duane for keeping our technology in check. Thank you very much. Also, there's opportunities to host a coffee or a cocktail gathering. It is a great way to share the Impact 100 to potential members. As we are a grassroots organization and we operate mainly by word of mouth, again, we would like to thank those gracious hostesses who were recognized in our program. As many of you are here tonight, because you attended one of those wonderful coffees or gatherings. There's also opportunities to participate on our special events committee. You could help with this grand awards event, or our kickoff event in November, or maybe another special event. I'd like to recognize and offer a big thank you to Susie Lanigan for tonight's chairing the awards tonight, and Susan Brockway and Peg Greenspoon for their generosity and leadership on the special events committee this year. Maybe you're looking for a leadership role. One of our goals is to not only give back to our community, but to also develop philanthropic leaders in our community. There are chair and board positions, and if you're interested, please make sure you indicate it on your volunteer form so that we can follow up with you. At this time, one second, I got ahead of myself. Our success would not be possible without a dedicated and talented board of directors. At this time, I would like all past and current board members to please stand. I'd like to recognize and offer a huge thank you to these fabulous ladies for all they do and have done for Impact 100. Thank you, thank you. Now, let me introduce our fourth presenter. Family Presents Florence Fuller Child Development Center. Family Preservation Program providing support and resource services for families. Ellen Okren.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ellen Okren. I am the CEO of Florence Fuller Child Development Centers. It is an honor to be here with 200 or 300 of the most powerful women who truly impact our community. For more than 43 years, we have been the leaders in providing quality early childhood education and out-of-school time enrichment programs for children ages birth through 12. Today, we serve more than 625 economically disadvantaged children and their families in southern Palm Beach County. Our centers are located in the east and west areas of Boca Raton. 98% of our families live below the poverty line, 80% have low-wage jobs, 20% are unemployed, the majority do not have adequate health care, and many are single mothers without a high school diploma or GED. We provide a full array of prevention and healthcare screenings, 2/3 of a child's nutritional daily needs, and mental health counseling, all in an effort to ensure that each child reaches their potential. While serving children is what we are known for and what we do best, our children go home each night to their families. We must ensure that these homes are safe, stable, enriching, and provide what each child deserves. Imagine you are 22 years old. You do not have a high school diploma. You have a 3-year-old child. Your only means of transportation is taking the bus. You bring your child to our centers each morning, taking 2 buses at $5 each way. And at that time, you are asked to go to West Palm Beach to enroll in a career training program. What is the likelihood you will go? Then one day, your mother with whom you live and supports you and your child is hit by a car on Blades Road and killed. It is 1 week before Christmas, and this is a true story. How will I survive, she asks. How do I plan a funeral? How do I pay my rent? Help me, she says, and so we do. The difference between this family succeeding or crumbling is access to individualized, comprehensive, and coordinated services that navigate and connect and motivate a person's journey through the complex social service network. Children receiving the educational, health, and social functioning foundation that they need will do well in school and do well in life. Parents who receive the necessary services they need will be productive, healthy, self-sustaining, and maintain a good environment for their children. The impact: healthy children in stable families, a productive workforce in a strong community. This is the solution for families who spend much of their time juggling multiple jobs, obtaining transportation, and searching for affordable housing without adequate knowledge of the social system of care. Our plan is to impact the cycle of poverty by coordinating comprehensive integrated services provided in partnership with local, multiple nonprofits, educational institutions, and healthcare providers in a place that our families trust, giving them access to the help that they need in our one-stop village, eliminating the barriers that create stress when a family is most vulnerable. The services to be provided, but are not limited to, crisis intervention, case management, life skills, employment, financial and health-related education and support, counseling, on-the-job training, and the creation of an intergenerational program recruiting productive seniors from our community to mentor children and families. Now meet 2-year-old Johnny. He has been getting to school late every morning. He is tired and disheveled. He's throwing severe temper tantrums throughout the day. He is stealing food from other children. He's falling asleep in the classroom. And he is refusing to participate in activities. Our teachers inform the social worker of the situation, who goes out and meets with the mom in the parking lot, and Mom shares her story. Mom and Johnny were evicted from their apartment 2 weeks ago because she lost her job. She has been working part-time and going to school to become a medical technician. They have been living in her car. She obtained a night job and is taking Johnny to an all-night childcare center in Miami because it was the only one she could find. And each morning, she was waking him up there and bringing him to our centers. Johnny is refusing to stay and is screaming when his mommy leaves. She is overwhelmed, embarrassed, and has no support system that she could rely on. The social worker immediately found temporary shelter, referred her to a number of support systems, helped her get a part-time day job, helped her find affordable housing, and ensured that she continued to stay in her classes so that she could get her degree or her training certificate to become a medical technician. Like I said, we are more than childcare. Studies have shown that services provided in a centralized location will create less homelessness, less crime, less underemployment, and so on and so forth. Upon funding this position, we will begin services immediately. Within 6 months, new relationships will be built with businesses and educational institutions, and at least 10 parents will be on our on-the-job training program. By the end of 12 months, the program will be impacting at least 1,300 individuals, and we will spend the funds in 2 years. How will we sustain this, you ask? The creation of a village or a family service center incubates partnerships and true collaborations that are the key to expanded financial prospects and new funding opportunities. We have a number of grants pending. Although our families are poor, they are healthy, hardworking, service industry folks who want more for their children. They lack the opportunities they need to become our future leaders, first responders, or Nobel Prize winners. By investing in our program, you can truly make a difference. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ellen. So Sue and I and Marina Horbeck are just fresh back last night from the annual Women's Collective Giving Network Conference. And Impact 100 is part of that network. So we have a few fun facts to share with you about Impact 100 around the world. Did you know there are 22 Impact 100s around the world, of which 3 are in Australia? Collectively, We are 5,600 members, collectively giving away $5 million this year. And since 2001, when Wendy Steele founded Impact 100 in Cincinnati, we have collectively given away $26 million. Pretty cool. You might remember from last year when I talked about the most successful Impact 100 is in Pensacola. Last year, in their 9th year, they had 728 members. And this week, they are celebrating their 10th anniversary with 1,000 members. Okay, do the math. They're giving away $1 million on a night like tonight. We can do that. Okay, but we need your help. So, what do we need you to do? We have tonight a Count Me In form in your envelope. And we really do rely on you renewing tonight and committing for next year by checking Count Me In. So please, hopefully you share in the excitement for tonight and we'll renew your membership, because next year, I think you've got the system here. The 4th year, we hope to give $400,000 in 4 grants of $100,000 each. And we can't do it without your help, and we really need the momentum that we start with tonight. So, with that said, please renew your membership, and we will go on to our 5th speaker. The focus area, Health and Wellness, presents United Cerebral Palsy of Palm Beach and Mid-Coastal Counties to provide recreational facilities for children and adults with developmental disabilities. Their presenter tonight is Debbie Terenzio.
I just wanted to take a minute to thank you for this unbelievable opportunity for United Cerebral Palsy of Palm Beach and those we serve. It's an honor to have been chosen as a finalist. Part of our mission for the past 20 years has included the phrase, help build lives. When we saw the Impact 100 grant, we thought it would be a perfect unification of both our goals. UCP to achieve its 20-year goal to build a recreation center to help build lives, and for Impact 100 women to make a significant impact in their community. Our combined efforts would positively impact hundreds of people with and without disabilities every year. There is no other program that we're aware of like this in South Florida. It will unify and inspire all children and adults to join together and participate in recreational sport leagues in a very unique recreation center. How many of you know someone who is overweight? I think we've all been overweight at some time or know somebody who struggles with their weight. How many of you know somebody with a disability? Now imagine someone with a limited ability to move around or in a wheelchair with a physical disability who has limited options for exercise. That is a very typical situation for the people that we serve at UCP. And I wanted to help illustrate why we wrote this grant by sharing you a story about a person named Mary. Mary used to walk independently in 2011 when she was 52 years old, but gained kind of a lot of weight, like most of us do during that time in her life, and she had to start using a walker. Mary didn't have any viable options to exercise that was both motivating and fun. So she continued on this path of gaining weight, and unfortunately she now uses a wheelchair. UCP's Community Recreation Wellness Center is the answer for people who face challenges when it comes to fitness and getting involved in their community that's been compounded by a lack of resources. The center we provide will be year-round recreational leagues for basketball, shuffleboard, and volleyball. This program can help Mary become physically active again, lose weight, hopefully transition back to a walker, and maybe even walking independently again. What a transformation that would be. UCP of Palm Beach offers comprehensive services every day of the year: after school, behavior therapy, adult day training, respite care, and residential facilities for children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities such as cerebral palsy, autism, Down syndrome, and spina bifida. About 2/3 of individuals with developmental disabilities are either overweight or obese, and they suffer the increased health risks of hypertension, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease that also negatively impact our healthcare costs. Obesity is 50% more common in individuals ages 12 to 17 with developmental disabilities in comparison to their typically developing peers. And that risk more than doubles for people with autism. Nearly 20% of people with an intellectual disability and 32% of those with autism are severely overweight. The physical property proposed for this project currently exists. It's accessible to all of South Palm Beach County and is available for immediate renovation. UCP has been a part of this community for 23 years and has the support of a very diverse and connected board. UCP also has staff longevity, as exemplified by our Executive Director, Pat Murphy, who's with us tonight. She has a master's degree in exercise science and started her career 24 years ago at UCP as a recreation therapist. What a perfect leader for this project. This project will be transformational in so many ways. For the current clients at UCP, they'll have better health and improved behavior. For hundreds of people with disabilities who have no appropriate place to exercise and compete like they're in the non-disabled world. For high school students who can learn through volunteering and participating in our leagues that people with disabilities have the same desires and needs as they do. And for families who now will be able to provide recreational activities for all their family members and give them a chance to network with other families. It could be transformational for someone like you, who may choose to participate in a league, maybe with Mary. She loves shuffleboard and is looking for a partner. People with disabilities often feel trapped by the limited expectations of others as much as their cognitive and physical challenges. This center will support the development of critical socialization skills, create the opportunity to be a part of a team, help each person become a part of their community, and hopefully a part of yours as well. UCP of Palm Beach is 100% financially independent of our UCP national organization. We raise funds and obtain funding via grants and contracts. What's unique about UCP's Community Recreation and Wellness Center is that the participants wouldn't have to worry about the funding being cut or lost, because the center is going to be completely self-sustaining. Once created, there will be minimal maintenance expenses and they will be covered by the membership fees collected by the league members. The project is volunteer-driven, so there'll be no staff-related costs associated with the program. The goal is to promote the program, have a large number of leagues registered whose dues will cover the repair, supplies, and upkeep once we're in full operation. What's also important to note is that this project is not a one-year program. The plan is to have the center in use for many, many years. It will be self-sustaining, run by local volunteers, with the support and oversight of UCP, a perfect match. It is anticipated that it will take about 6 months to build the center. The center will be permanent, and there'll be nothing like this for people with developmental disabilities or the community at large in the South Palm Beach area. Unfortunately, without the Impact 100 grant, this project will not be built. Please help Mary, help me, and help Mary help herself. There are many Marys at UCP and in our community. It's important as a society that we take care of the most vulnerable people in our community. A center like this will give people with disabilities the opportunity to become healthy, active, and to live a better life. I ask you, haven't women historically taken the lead to speak up and take action for those who can't do it for themselves? I'm here on behalf of Mary to ask all of you to make this center a reality. If UCP is awarded the full grant amount, together we will help build lives in the South Palm Beach County area for many, many years to come. A permanent acknowledgement sign will be situated in a place of honor so that those who use or pass by the Recreation Center will know that the women of Impact 100 are the people that made it possible. Thank you again for one of the most amazing opportunities in my 36-year career at UCP and allowing us to share our dream that's been in the making for over 20 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Okay, this is the time you've all been waiting for. Voting and cocktails. So if everyone has found your clipper in your envelope, and if you haven't, we've got plenty of volunteers out there to help with this process. In order for your vote to count, no letter can be used twice, and every finalist has to be included in one of those choices. All right. I think we're ready to vote, ladies. I know it's going to be was very difficult. All of our presenters and projects were amazing. So, let's go ahead and please select your first choice to receive our $100,000 grant. Do we have it? Do we have our first vote in?
Anybody else need more time?
Okay, our first vote is now closed. Our second vote, same letters, okay? Please go ahead and input the letter for your second vote to receive, your second preference to receive our $100,000 grant. Okay, so our votes, by the way, are tallied and certified by Michelle Ferrara, and she is with the CPA firm, Morrison Brown, Argus, and Farah, and she has graciously helped us the last 2 years and this third year as well, and so we do want to thank her for all of her help. So she certifies our votes, and what's happening is, thank you, Michelle. Because we received quite a few absentee ballots, that's why we need to take 20 or 30 minutes now to go ahead and calculate those with the electronic votes that you just did. So for the next 20 or 30 minutes, please go out into the lobby. We've got some light bites, we've got some wine, and ultimately we will come out and announce with our finalists and do a champagne toast. To count you in for next year. Thank you so much.
I just want to say thank you to all of our Impact 100 members. I'm so happy to have you all here, and those that brought friends, thank you so much. And I hope those guests next year will be bringing 2 friends, they'll be members, and bringing 2 friends of their own. So thank you. Also too for all the volunteers that work on all the committees, make events like this happen, the grants and whatnot. I want to thank all of those hardworking people for that. Thank Susie Lanigan for chairing this grand event. She's done this is her 3rd year. She's incredible, and I just want to say thank you so much.
I think this is what you call a labor of love, right, Susie? Thank
Very
you.
much so.
Do you want to present the flowers? Oh, yeah, Susie, come on up here.
I'd also like to express sincere gratitude to all the nonprofits in the community for their timeless efforts and creative innovation and programs to help the community. So thank you for all of that. And just as the work of the nonprofit community is never done, we hope Impact 100 Palm Beach County will continue to grow and continue to change the lives in our community and make it better for all of us.
Just one quick more thank you to 2 of our original co-founders, to Cindy Kresbach and Lisa Mahal. Thank you, ladies. You continue to carry on tirelessly, and we are so grateful. Okay, we will now announce our first recipient of our $100,000 grant. Our first recipient is the Achievement Center for Children. Can they come on up, please, and receive their big check? Congratulations to the Achievement Center. Come on up. Okay, the next recipient of our $100,000 grant is the Florence Child Development Center. Congratulations, Florence Fuller. Congratulations, ladies.
She's not letting go of that check.
Okay. One more.
Thank you.
Okay, and the third recipient of our $100,000 grant is the Arts Garage. Come on up, Arts Garage. Drew Taguer. Okay, and we would like to present $10,000 to the Coastal Conservation Association.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And of course, $10,000 to the United Cerebral Palsy of Palm Beaches.